I've been wanting to mess around with the Universal Pokémon Randomizer for a while now, and it's finally time. Join me in my adventure through Pokemon SoulSilver with randomized static Pokemon, trainer Pokemon, and items, plus of course, hardcore Nuzlocke rules. I'm your host and friend, the TRC. Together we're going to experience the truly random and unexpected moments that only a randomized Pokemon game can provide. I have not checked the changelog, so every decision we make will be in the moment. Let's hope it works out. For those that are unfamiliar with hardcore Nuzlocke rules, here's the main self-imposed rules we'll be playing with. If a Pokemon faints, it must be released at the soonest possible time. We can only catch the first Pokemon we encounter in a route or area. Our Pokemon must be under the level of the next gym leader or final Elite Four member's ace. The item menu may not be used in battle. The set battle mode must be used at all times, and you can find the rest of the rules in the description below. We begin our journey by immediately being assaulted by an aggressive Meryl on our way to Professor Elm's lab. But before we head in, we receive the Booting of Luck, one of our SoulSilver traditions. Upon arriving, Professor Elm requests we pick up a package for him and offers us our first Pokemon to help make the journey a little easier. We have the choice of Ralts, Zubat, or Whismur. As much as I would love to take Ralts, I don't believe we'll have the money for healing items to struggle our way to level 6 for Confusion, and Zubat is common across hardcore Nuzlocke runs, so we'll take Whismur to shake it up a little bit. I've also wanted to do a run with an Exploud for a while, so this works out well. We receive our Whismur, who we decide to name Screamer, a fitting name for a Pokemon with Uproar. Say goodbye to Mum like a polite child, mug a man for his shoes and map, and finally arrive to collect the package. On our way back to the laboratory, we're challenged to our first Pokemon battle by our rival. They've picked up Zubat for their starter, and thanks to a few extra levels on Screamer, this battle is not an issue. Once we return to the lab, we discover the Pokemon that we had just battled was stolen from Professor Elm. When asked for the thief's name, we decide to call him Crispy, because all I want in the world right now is some Crispy strips. With that wrapped up, we head out to become the world's best Pokemon master, which is a hard task when you don't know how to catch a Pokemon. Luckily, Lara gives us a good demonstration. On Route 29 we catch a Sunkern we name Solar, which is a huge disappointment because I know Alakazam here from our earlier journey. A male Combi on Route 30 we name Honey, which is also a disappointment because Espeon was a potential encounter here. And we catch an Omastar we name Star on Route 46. We smash through the beginner trainers on Route 31 and encounter a Magneton, which sadly kills Solar and Honey, but we do eventually capture it and name it Shocker. Farewell friends, your sacrifice will not be in vain. In the Sprout Tower, we catch a Crawdaunt we name Pinch, our rival has an Imagination Christmas, and we challenge Elder Lee to a battle. Elder Lee leads with a Piplup, but Shocker easily knocks it out with a single Thundershock. The second Pokemon, Ashelder, is also knocked out with a single Thundershock before he sends out his ace Pokemon. Oh, would you look at that? Still a Hoot Hoot, also taken down by a single Thundershock. This is going smoothly. Before challenging Faulkner at the gym, we head off to round out our team a little bit, as we have some pretty glaring weaknesses right now, Electric, Fighting, and Grass being the biggest issue. In the Ruins of Elf, we catch a Togepi we name Scrambles, which would be fantastic if we were guaranteed a shiny stone somewhere on the run, but we're not, and a Beautifly named Vibes on Route 32. After grinding up to the level cap, we head off to challenge the Violet City Gym, crossing our fingers we don't come up against an Electric or Fighting type. The first gym trainer only has a Hoppip, which is easily knocked out by Shocker. The second trainer has an Encarta and a Starly, which are easily both knocked out by Pinch. From now on, I'll only show the gym trainers if we have a close call during a battle, or they have an interesting team. With our team at the level cap except for you Togepi, we challenge Faulkner for our first gym badge. The flying type gym leader sends out his first Pokemon, an Encarta, which is amazing because of its Pokedex entry. Encarta lives underground for many years in complete darkness. Couldn't be much further from a flying type. We send out Shocker, which I was thinking should have been a good lead due to its high defense and steel typing, but Nincada puts a pin in all that. Knowing Nincada can't really do much against us, we begin using Tackle, and Faulkner uses his traditional sand attack strategy. Worried about missing our tackles, and more importantly being forced to switch out on Faulkner's ace due to accuracy issues, we switch into Vibes, who gets the knockout with Gust. Faulkner sends out his ace, and Nidorino, who is definitely going to know Double Kick, which super effective hits my entire team, except Vibes. We leave Vibes in to try and get some early damage with Gust, but miss due to the sand attacks from Nincada earlier, and Nidorino uses Focus Energy, getting that much more scary. Without a suitable switch in, Vibes lands a Gust for roughly a quarter damage, but Nidorino responds with a critical hit Peck. This thing can super effectively hit my entire team. Knowing we'll lose Vibes if we keep him in, we switch into Shocker on the Peck, which barely scratches it. Now we have to hope we outspeed and can get the knockout with a Thundershock. If we're slower, Double Kick is going to potentially kill one of our team members. Shocker manages to outspeed and use Thundershock, which lands a critical and scores the knockout. I actually don't think a non-critical hit here would have done it, but we may have used up all the luck in the run already. Zephyr badge in hand and an egg to hatch, we continue our adventure to face Bugsy and Azalea Town for the Hive badge. On our way, we find the TM for Ice Beam on Route 32, encounter and catch a Vaporeon we name H2O while travelling through the Union Cave, who is added to the team, and find a wild Bagon we catch and name Scales on Route 33. That's such a shame. With the Pokemon League being at such a low level on SoulSilver, we'll never have the opportunity to use Salamence. As we get to the outskirts of Azalea Town, we witness a dispute between two men. The dispute turns nasty and the Team Rocket member throws the old man down the well. We head down to help, and the injured old man just requests we clear Team Rocket from the Slowpoke well. We encounter and capture a Gastrodon we name Slug, who is sent to the box, then engage in our first battle with Team Rocket. Proton leads with a combi, not much of an issue for Shocker. However, Proton sends out an Elekid, which of course knows a fighting type move, and a few low kicks bring Shocker down to critical hit range. We pivot into Vibes to tank the low kick, then looking at the lack of health on Elekid, we stay in and get the knockout with an Absorb, forcing Team Rocket to abandon their dastardly plans in the Slowpoke well. A young girl then gets angry at us when we decline giving her our phone number for her grandpa, but we've finally made it to Azalea Town, and we head off to challenge the gym trainers. The battles go off without a hitch, but one trainer does send out a Masquerain, which could have been a real issue if not for Shocker. We complete our final grind up to the level cap, and our egg hatches into a Crobat we name Fang. With all our tasks complete, we challenge Bugsy for our second gym badge. Bugsy usually leads with his level 17 Scyther, which in this run will have been randomized into something of similar strength, which is absolutely horrifying. Bugsy sends out his ace, an Executor, and we lead with Shocker for the same reasons as the last gym. Executor is horrible for us. Seed Bomb and Confusion alone will rip through our entire team. I honestly wish I was dealing with the Scyther. Shocker outspeeds and lands the Thunder Wave to paralyze Executor, but it responds with and lands the Hypnosis, putting Shocker to sleep. With this development, we switch into Vibes, who is critical hit with Confusion to 3 health. There goes our potential counter, probably the Karma coming back around from mid-arena. The biggest question I have right now is, does Executor have Egg Bomb? If it doesn't, we have options. With Vibes low on health, we switch into Pinch to scout it out, and luckily, Executor is fully paralyzed. We switch into Shocker to see what Executor uses, but it's only Hypnosis, which doesn't have any effect. Knowing Confusion won't be very effective, we leave in Shocker and start using Sonic Boom while absorbing the hits from Executor. Sadly, Executor heals up with its held Citrus Berry and brings Shocker into critical hit range, forcing us to switch into Pinch, who ignores the Confusion on entry thanks to its Dark typing. Pinch connects with Vice Grip, but does minimal damage, only to be put to sleep by Hypnosis. Wanting to scout out the attack again, we switch into Shocker, who is hit by Stomp, confirming for me that Executor does not know Seed Bomb. We take this opportunity to switch into H2O, who we conveniently taught the TM for Ice Beam we picked up on Route 32. H2O tanks a Stomp on entry, and then easily outspeeds to get the knockout with super effective Ice Beam. Bugsy then sends out his second Pokemon, a Ralts, which is easily knocked out with a single Ice Beam, and his third Pokemon, a Cleffa, which is knocked out by 2 Ice Beams. The battle was tight due to the Executor, but could have been much worse. I don't think there was anything we could have brought with us to better counter Executor in this battle, but we got through it without any losses. To earn our third badge, we need to head to Goldenrod City, the largest city in Johto, to challenge Whitney. As we set off, we're challenged by our rival Crispy, who believes we are far too weak to have defeated Team Rocket at the Slowpoke well earlier. Crispy leads with a Riolu, a potential issue for our team, and we send out Shocker. We immediately switch into Vibes, and Riolu only uses Foresight. Vibes then easily scores the knockout with a super effective Gust. Out comes our rival Starter, which has already evolved into a Golbat. We switch out into Shocker, easily our best counter. Though Shocker gets confused, it still manages to take out Golbat without too much trouble. Crispy then sends out his last Pokemon, a Combi. I feel a little bad about this one. Not worried at all, Shocker snaps out of its confusion and scores a knockout with a single Thundershock, earning us the victory. With our rival defeated, we head into Ilex Forest to start our journey to Goldenrod City. Here we catch a Clefairy we name Base Clef, tackle some Farfetch'd, and get the TM for Cut so we can continue on. On Route 34 we encounter and catch a Cloyster, one of my favourite Pokemon when I was younger because of this scene particularly, who we name Pearl, but we've already got a lot of water types, so welcome to the box. While training up to battle Whitney, we run into a Fire Breather with a level 11 Roserade and a level 16 Jinx, both which could have been a real issue. Luckily between Vibes and Shocker, we managed to get the victory without any losses. While on Route 35 we encounter a Kadabra, which just teleports away. Goodbye encounter, and with our grind up to level 19 complete, we head to the radio station to flex our multiple choice quiz abilities at Whitney, getting her to return to the gym. Whitney is usually terrifying for me at this stage in the run, but I'm hoping the randomizer may throw us a bone here and give us an easier Pokemon to deal with than Miltank. Only one way to find out though. We challenge Whitney for the Plane badge. She leads with the Love Disc, and we send out H2O. This would have been perfect if I had any kind of setup moves whatsoever on the team, but alas. We switch into Vibes, who easily tanks the takedown, and begins to recover health with Absorb, eventually getting the knockout. Then Whitney sends out her ace, a Drapion. Alright, this may be worse than Miltank. Hear me out. Drapion is a defensive beast, with high attack and speed, with the kicker being it will have access to Acupressure, randomly sharply increasing one of its stats. If this thing can get set up, I'm in trouble. We switch out into Shocker, hoping to resist whatever attack move Drapion uses, but it immediately uses Acupressure and gets the attack raise. This actually could be over already. Drapion outspeeds and uses Acupressure again, getting a special attack increase, but Shocker lands the Thunder Wave, which is cured by a held Lumberry. I always forget about Whitney's Lumberry. Drapion uses Leer, and things are starting to look pretty dire. I'm very convinced anything I switch into here will be knocked out in a single hit, but Shocker lands the second Thunder Wave. Now outspeeding, Thundershock does roughly a quarter damage, but Drapion uses Acupressure again, increasing its speed. The second Thundershock lands, bringing Drapion to half. Then it uses Acupressure again, and gets the Evasiveness raise. Oh no. Wondering if Sonic Boom will do more damage, I test it out and we get Drapion down into the red, but Drapion responds with Pin Missile, leaving Shocker just above half. Then Whitney uses a Super Potion. We have to do it all again. Sonic Boom slowly whittles down Drapion, and despite another attack raise, Shocker manages to get the knockout. Honestly, if Drapion had been more aggressive after that first attack boost, we probably would have lost the run right here. On our way to Ecruteak City, we partake in the bug catching competition, hoping I can find a Scyther, one of my other favourite Pokemon growing up, or its randomized equivalent anyway. But it seems we used up all our luck in the Whitney battle, and encounter a Weedle we named Disappoint, yet somehow still managed to get third prize. Our Weedle must be a big boy. We then squirt some water on a very strange looking Altaria, catch a Slowking on Route 37 we name Royal, and get challenged to a double battle against a Lunone and a Wishcash. This battle was far closer than I would like to admit, but we didn't lose any friends. We arrive in Ecruteak City and head to Mount Mortar, where we encounter and catch a compoundized Butterfree we name Freebie. It's already got Sleep Powder, so we're good to go. Freebie gets added to the team, and Vibes is sent to the box. On Route 38, we encounter and manage to catch a Ralts before it teleports away, who we name Blaine and is added to the team. While grinding up to challenge Morty, Screamer evolves into a Loudred, and we catch a Coughing on Route 39 named Gas, and Blaine evolves into a Curlier. Inside the Burn Tower, we encounter a Machamp, which we absolutely catch and name Champ. I never get to use Trade Evolution Pokemon in normal hardcore Nuzlocks. This is a great change of pace. We head deeper into the tower, and begin our third rival battle. Crispy leads with a Cubone, and we send out Freebie. Freebie lands the Sleep Powder, and we switch into H2O, who knocks it out with a Water Gun. Out comes Voltorb, and we switch into Shocker, who is immediately hit with Sonic Boom. We retaliate with a Sonic Boom also, but Voltorb brings Shocker to kill range, so we switch into Screamer, who gets the knockout with a Headbutt after absorbing 2 Sonic Booms. Crispy sends out his second last Pokemon, a Swinub, which is easily taken out with 2 Headbutts, and out comes our rival starter, Golbat. With Screamer low, we switch into H2O, who is confused on entry. The combination of a wing attack and hurting itself in confusion brings H2O down to 2/3 health, and then the exact same thing brings him to a third. Worried another turn of confusion damage will kill, we're forced to switch, but nearly our entire team is weak or can be super effectively damaged by Golbat. We send out Shocker to hopefully end the battle with Thundershock, but it becomes confused and hits itself in confusion, which means we need to switch again. We send out Pinch, who easily tanks the bite, but is then also confused and hits itself in confusion. Golbat hits with a wing attack, and Pinch hits itself in confusion yet again. With Pinch in kill range, we're forced to switch in and send out Freebie, who is immediately hit with a wing attack on entry, down to 20 health. Thankfully, it wasn't a critical hit. Because of that high damage, we switch again to Blaine, who is also knocked down to 20 health. With all our Pokemon low, we have to risk sending in Shocker, who is hit with a wing attack on entry down to 7 health. Shocker is then hit with a Confuse Ray, but manages to break through and bring Golbat to quarter health. With Shocker in kill range again, we're forced to switch, and with Screamer on the most health, she has the best potential to tank a hit and get the knockout, so we send her in. Screamer is knocked down to 18 health on entry, and this is it. We have to sacrifice Screamer. We have nothing to pivot to, and no other answers. Golbat uses Bite, and kills our poor starter Screamer. May you rest peacefully. With a free switch in, we send out H2O, who is hit with a Confuse Ray, but we finally break through confusion for the knockout. I'm going to add a counter to the screen to see how many times we were hit in confusion here. That was horrible luck. We head back to the Pokemon Center and lay our dear friend Screamer to rest. He will not be forgotten. With a spare slot, Champ is added to the team, but has big shoes to fill. we grind up to level 25 and challenge Morty for our 4th gym badge. Morty leads with a Corphish and we send out Freebie, who immediately lands the Sleep Powder, what I would give for a Pokemon with a setup move right now, but that was Screamer with Howl. Freebie then scores the knockout with a critical hit Psybeam, getting us off to a good start. Morty's next Pokemon and Ace is sent out, a Frostlass. Fitting, Frostlass outspeeds and lands the Confuse Ray, but Freebie breaks through and connects with another Sleep Powder. With not a lot of options against an Ice Ghost type, we leave Freebie in, but it hurts itself in Confusion twice in a row. Freebie then lands a critical hit, bringing Frostlass to under half, but its Hell Citrus Berry brings it back up into the green. Frostlass wakes up and lands another Confuse Ray, and Freebie hurts itself in Confusion yet again. Worried the combination of attack damage from Frostlass and Confusion could kill Freebie, we switch into H2O, whose massive bulk easily absorbs the hits and lands a Water Gun before being hit with Confuse Ray and hurting itself in Confusion. We switch into Shocker, who absorbs the hit on switch in, takes the Ominous Wind, and connects with a Thunder Wave, something I should have done a long time ago. Shocker lands a Thunder Shock, but is then hit with Confuse Ray, so we switch back to H2O, who can hopefully score the knockout now Frostlass is paralyzed. H2O is hit with a critical on entry, but we're running out of options. We stay in as long as we can to do Water Gun damage, but are eventually forced to switch out to Shocker, who finally gets the knockout with Thunder Shock. With Frostlass defeated, Morty sends out a Wartortle, which is easily knocked out by 2 Thunder Shocks, before sending out his final Pokemon, a Grovyle. Shocker lands the Thunder Wave, and Grovyle, doing minimal damage, is eventually knocked out by 2 Sonic Booms, and a Karate Chop from Champ. Looking back, I should have used Shocker to paralyze Frostlass a lot earlier, but I honestly wasn't expecting her to be as dangerous as she was. Confusion damage has been a big issue in this leg of the journey. Let's hope that's the worst of it. With Morty defeated and the Fog Badge pinned safely to our jacket, we meet Jasmine at the top of the lighthouse, who requests we pick up some medicine for the unwell Ampharos. We also encounter this strange man, who implies naughty children are left marooned on the world islands as a punishment. I swear I've been good. Now that we're roughly halfway through the video, it would mean a lot to me if you'd consider leaving a like if you're enjoying the content. It may not feel like it, but it gives new and small creators such as me a huge boost. Now back to the video. On Route 40, we encounter and catch a Lantern we name Sparky, and upon arrival, accept the gift Pokemon Shuckle, who just happens to be a Heracross. I was excited to use Champ this run, but I think Heracross wins out here, but we ultimately decide to keep them both on the team and replace Pinch for now. With our supercharged team, we head into the Cyanwood Gym to battle Chuck for our 5th gym badge. Chuck leads with a Cacturn and we send out Freebie, hoping to get a first turn Sleep Powder off. However, with Cacturn in play, we instead opt for Silver Wind, hoping for the Omni Boost. Freebie outspeeds and connects with a critical hit, knocking out the Cacturn in a single attack. Chuck then sends out his ace, a Machamp. Again, how fitting. Freebie outspeeds and Sleep Powder connects. With Machamp completely asleep, a few gusts and a Psybeam bring it into knockout range before it wakes up, despite the Hyper Potion. Freebie is then hit by a Vital Throw before one last gust scores the knockout and earns us the Storm Badge. Medicine in hand, we head back to the lighthouse and Jasmine is able to cure the sick Pokemon. With our business at the lighthouse concluded, Blaine evolves into a Gardevoir and we head to the Olivine City Gym to challenge Jasmine for our 6th badge. Jasmine leads with her Electrike and we send out Freebie, our standard opener. Freebie outspeeds and lands the Sleep Powder as usual. Not having anything overly effective against electric types, we send out Champ, who nearly scores the knockout with a single Revenge. Jasmine then uses a Hyper Potion, but a critical hit Karate Chop from Champ scores our first knockout of the battle, but is paralyzed by Electrike's static ability. Venonat, Jasmine's second Pokemon, is then brought into the battle, and we switch out into Freebie, who easily tanks the Psybeam on entry. Another Sleep Powder, and then a few gusts to easily earn us the second knockout. It's time for Jasmine's ace, a level 35 Nidoqueen. I'm actually a little bit more worried about this than our usual Steelix. Nidoqueen outspeeds and brings Freebie under half with a single Body Slam. Luckily, Freebie still manages to connect with Sleep Powder. With Nidoqueen asleep, we switch into Blaine, who manages to get the knockout with Confusion on Nidoqueen without it even waking up. Just like that, we've won the Mineral Badge from Jasmine, our 6th badge. We also find this sailor worried he may not return from his treacherous voyage, but his partner tells us he works for a pleasure cruise? A little bit over-exaggerated. Now off to foil Team Rocket. On our way to Mahogany Town to challenge Price for the Glacier Badge, we get Shucky a haircut because all that hair must be really bothering him, and encounter a Kricketot on Route 42 we name Nope. Upon arriving, we're told there's a disturbance at the Lake of Rage, so we make our way up to investigate. While hiking through the grass on Route 43, we catch a Girafarig we name Spots, which is a huge shame. I've wanted to use one in a run for a long time, but with a Gardevoir, we have no reason to add her to the party. Maybe next time. We then get literally robbed by Team Rocket, and upon arriving at the Lake of Rage immediately see the cause for disturbance. A wild Grottle has got itself stuck and is thrashing about. We surf out and are lucky enough to catch the Grottle and name it Tortle. When we reach land, Lance the Dragon Tamer, champion of the Pokemon League, introduces himself. He requests our help uncovering a sinister plot in Mahogany Town. Of course we agree, and arrive just in time to watch Lance vaporize a man. In the Rocket hideout, we easily dispatch Petrel, who only has a Zigzagoon, a low-level Dragonair, and an Omanyte. After herding the Murkrow to the locked door, we're ambushed by Ariana and a Rocket Grunt, but Lance steps up to the plate and sends out a Kingdra. Lance basically wins this battle by himself. Kingdra knocks out every Pokemon in a single hit with Hydro Pump. With Ariana defeated, we shut down the Team Rocket machine and defeat the Mightyena they were using to power it, with treadmill technology or something. With Team Rocket's evil machinery offline, we head over to the Mahogany Town gym to finally challenge Price for our 7th gym badge. Price leads with a Lombre, which ruins our plans to put his opening Pokemon to sleep and set up a Calm Mind sweep with Blaine. However, after a flinch from Fake Out, we take the opportunity to try and get an Omni Boost from Silverwind. Silverwind brings Lombre to barely yellow health, and it hits back with a Bubble Beam for roughly a third. Price is now locked into using Hyper Potions, and we get the Omni Boost on the next Silverwind. With our boosted special attack, one more Silverwind does the trick and knocks out Lombre. Price then sends out his ace, Ludicolo. Freebie outspeeds and brings it to below half with a Silverwind, but Ludicolo eats its held Citrus Berry and retaliates with an Astonish, doing minimal damage. Another Silverwind, and Ludicolo survives barely on a slither of health before firing off a Tri-Attack, bringing Freebie to 35 health. With Ludicolo so slow and knowing Price is out of Hyper Potions, we stay in and get the knockout with a Gust. Price then sends out his last Pokemon, a Gardevoir. We switch into Shocker, who easily tanks the incoming Magical Leaf, and eventually get the knockout with Thundershock. We then get news that Goldenrod City is under attack by Team Rocket, and it seems Lance has filled his savior quota for the week. So we're the only ones who can stop them. We grab a Team Rocket outfit, but immediately get outed by Crispy before we can infiltrate the radio tower. After battling our way to the top and defeating Petrel for a second time, who had nothing really worth noting, besides maybe a Jolteon because I rarely see them, we find ourselves in the underground to rescue the radio director. Our rival Crispy seems to have decided the best way he can help the situation is by challenging us, the one rescuing everyone, to a Pokemon battle. But his team hasn't developed into anything too much stronger, besides an Alakazam, and we can easily switch into the correct counters. With Crispy defeated, we rescue the radio director, who gives us a key to the observation level where we can challenge Archer to force Team Rocket back into hiding. Archer leads with a Loudred, a grim reminder of the events at Burn Tower, but Freebie puts it to sleep and easily gets the knockout with a Silverwind. Cyndaquil comes out next, and after putting it to sleep with Freebie, we rotate into H2O, who easily gets a knockout with a Surf. Archer then sends out his ace, a level 38 Rhyperior, which could have been a huge issue for us with its high stats, but H2O easily gets a knockout with another Surf. With Team Rocket finally defeated, we begin our journey to Blackthorn City through the Ice Path. Here we encounter a Breloom that Shocker accidentally kills with a Thundershock, and we catch a Walrein on Route 44 we name Toothers. Upon completing the puzzle in the Ice Path with my massive 300 IQ, we finally arrive at Blackthorn City and get one of our final encounters on Route 45, a Skitty we name Skit, who is definitely going in the box, leaving us only the Blackthorn City gym. We challenge Claire for our 8th and final badge, and she leads with an Altaria against Freebie. Knowing Altaria will outspeed, we switch into H2O, who tanks the takedown on entry, but is hit with a second takedown to roughly half health before getting the first knockout with an Ice Beam. Claire sends out her second Pokemon, a Croconaw, and we switch into Shocker, who easily absorbs the crunch on entry. Shocker then outspeeds and gets us the second knockout with a Discharge. Out comes Combuskin, so we switch back to H2O, who is hit with a Sound Attack on entry. Hopefully it won't affect this battle. H2O outspeeds and gets a knockout with a Surf. Claire is forced to send out her last Pokemon, her ace, an Arcanine. This could actually be an issue. H2O is already low. If a single Surf doesn't kill, we're in trouble. Arcanine outspeeds with extreme speed, bringing H2O to 41 health, and H2O connects with a Surf, which isn't enough for the knockout. With H2O low on health, we're forced to switch, and with Arcanine also low, I send out our next bulkiest Pokemon, Champ. Champ tanks the extreme speed well on entry, but is outsped by Arcanine, who hits hard with a Fire Fang. Champ responds with a Karate Chop, which connects, and scores the final knockout, defeating Claire. Unwilling to give us the Rising badge for defeating her, we head into the Dragon's Den, where we encounter and catch a Haunchcrow we name Crow, who is also added to the party, replacing Champ. We succeed on the quiz given to us by the old man, which Claire hasn't yet been able to pass. Considering the quiz revolves around respect and compassion, it raises a lot of red flags about the Blackthorn gym leader. With all the badges collected, we head into the Whirl Islands, where we catch a Blastoise we name Toys, awaken Lugia, and run away before the Komodo girls can stop us. With all of that out of the way, we begin our trek to the Pokemon League, catching a Marshtomp we name Stomper on Route 27, a Dragonair we name Knight in the Tojo Falls, and a Feraligatr we name Gator on Route 26. The only things we have left now is to find our way through Victory Road, defeat Crispy for the last time, and attempt to defeat the Pokemon League. Considering we've already trained up to the level cap, and we have the right counters, Crispy is easily defeated. But I am noticing something specific in our team during this fight. We have a huge weakness to electric types, with no real counter to them. Something we'll need to rectify before heading into the Pokemon League. We train up our Grottle, who evolves into a Torterra which adds a ground grass type to the team, who replaces Freebie, giving us a lot of extra options. Freebie has been great this run, but has recently been used exclusively for Sleep Powder, and I don't think this will help us enough throughout the Pokemon League to occupy a party slot. This is a great chance to tell me what team you would have brought into the Pokemon League. Here's what we have available on the PC. Leave a comment letting me know what your team would have been. With our team up to the level cap, a few TMs used, and held items given out, we head into the Pokemon League. No idea what's in store for us. The first Elite Four member, Will, sends out an Electabuzz, and I have never felt more like a genius in my life. The last minute switch to Tortle is already worth it. We switch into Tortle, who is unaffected by Electabuzz's discharge on entry. Will withdraws his Electabuzz and sends out Sandslash, while we get off a free curse. Sandslash outspeeds and hits with a Crush Claw, and Tortle barely misses the knockout with a Razor Leaf. Will uses a full restore, and another Razor Leaf brings Sandslash back to the red. Sandslash then outspeeds and connects with another Crush Claw, but gets knocked out by another Razor Leaf. Out comes Quagsire, and this is going too well. Quagsire outspeeds and uses Amnesia, 4x super effective Stab Razor Leaf still gets the knockout. Will sends out an Umbreon, a Pokemon that may be able to wall us quite successfully. We switch into Shucky, who easily tanks the Feint Attack on entry. A Brick Break then brings Umbreon into the red, but it retaliates with a Confuse Ray. Knowing how bad the Confusion RNG has treated us this run, we switch into Shocker, who easily tanks the Feint Attack and outspeeds to get the knockout with Discharge. Will's Electabuzz finally comes back out, and knowing it can't hurt our Tortle, we switch him back in, and Electabuzz only uses Light Screen. Will then withdraws his Electabuzz and sends out a Magnezone, while we set up with a Curse. Magnezone outspeeds, but only uses Lock-On, before being knocked out by an Earthquake. With nowhere left to run, Electabuzz is finally taken out with another Earthquake, and with that, we've defeated the first member of the Elite Four. The second member of the Elite Four, Koga, leads with a Porygon. We paralyze it with a Thunder Wave from Shocker, then send out Blaine to set up a potential Calm Mind sweep. After 3 Calm Minds, Blaine scores an easy knockout, but then Koga sends out a Pinsir. Not willing to risk being outsped, we switch into H2O, who tanks a brutal X-Scissor to nearly half health. Knowing we don't have a lot of options, we leave H2O in, and Pinsir uses Sword Dance. Things just got really dangerous. H2O barely misses the knockout with a Surf, but Pinsir restores health with its held Citrus Berry. Knowing this could go badly, we switch into Shocker and resist the Thrash on entry. At this point we will survive the next Thrash unless it's a critical, which we do have to risk. Pinsir hits hard, but it's not a critical, and Shocker gets a knockout with another Discharge. Out comes Gleescore, so we switch into H2O, who tanks 2 X-Scissors and then scores a knockout with a single Ice Beam. Next, Koga sends out a Glalie, so we switch into Shucky, who easily absorbs the Crunch, then outspeeds and gets a knockout with a Brick Break. Out comes Koga's last Pokemon, a Ninjask. How fitting. Not overly worried about Ninjask, we switch into Shocker, who uses Thunder Wave, just in case things get out of hand, then gets a knockout with a single Discharge. We're halfway through the Elite Four. Onto the Elite Four member that usually doesn't present an issue. Bruno leads with a Slowbro, and I Fat Finger Thunder Wave instead of Discharge, and Shocker is hurt by a Water Pulse before getting the knockout. Misdrevious is out next, so we switch into Croweave's hit with a Perish Song on entry. I should have stayed in here and switched out next round, but to be safe we swap into Shocker, who is hit with a Shadow Ball. We take the opportunity to switch back to Crow, but Bruno withdraws Misdrevious and sends out Sneasel. Crow connects with a Night Slash for nearly half damage, but we switch into Shucky, just in case of being outsped with a stab boosted Ice move. Shucky is hit with a Metal Claw on entry, then outsped and hit with a Slash, before getting the knockout with Brick Break. Then Bruno sends out his own Shuckle, and the circle is complete. The once randomized Shucky stares down his opponent, but we switch into Tortle to get the Leech Seed damage. Without much issue thanks to Leech Seed recovery, Tortle easily manages to knock out Shuckle. Misdrevious comes back out and seems we've got a curse in while taking down Shuckle. We stay in and knock out Misdrevious with a single Razor Leaf. Bruno then sends out his last Pokemon, a Kabuto, who is also easily knocked out by a single Razor Leaf, defeating the third member of the Elite Four. On to Karen, the member I usually struggle the most with, and it doesn't seem like this will be any different as she leads with a Togekiss. Shocker uses Thunder Wave, as a no Togekiss can be quite bulky, but it responds with an Aura Sphere, bringing Shocker down to 46 health. We switch into H2O, and luckily Togekiss is fully paralyzed. 2 Ice Beams then manage to score us the first knockout. She then sends out a Dugong, and we stay in to get some scouting information. Dugong outspeeds and does minimal damage with Takedown, but it also shrugs off our Shadow Ball. We take this opportunity to switch into Shucky, who easily absorbs the Takedown, and then outspeeds with Brick Break for the knockout. With Shucky lacking a strong bug-type move, when Girafarig is sent out we switch into Crow, who is unaffected by the Psychic. Crow outspeeds and barely misses the knockout with a Night Slash, but Girafarig heals with its health Citrus Berry, but does miss its double hit. One more Night Slash from Crow, and we've got another knockout. Karen then sends out a Celio, so we pivot into H2O, who is hit with a Swagger on entry. Then we switch into Shucky, and Celio uses Hail. Shucky then outspeeds and gets a knockout with a close combat. Karen's last Pokemon comes out, a Lucario. We switch into Tortle, and Lucario fails its counter. Lucario then uses me first for minimal damage with Earthquake, then Tortle responds with its own Earthquake for the knockout, defeating the final member of the Elite Four. We've made it so close to the end. There's only one battle left to finish the run, but it's against the champion Lance. And being a randomized playthrough, we have no idea what he has, so we haven't been able to prepare. Lance sends out Narmoldo for his first Pokemon, who we Thunder Wave, then knock out with 2 discharges while taking minimal damage from Slash. Next, true to his title, Lance sends out a Kingdra. It outspeeds and uses Dragon Dance. I'm already scared, but Shocker lands a critical hit with Discharge, bringing Kingdra into the red. This victory is short-lived as Lance uses a full restore, and knowing it's going to take more than 2 attacks, we opt for a Thunder Wave to ensure we outspeed. Shocker uses Discharge and Kingdra stays above half, but Dragon dances again. This is getting really scary. We bring it back to the red, but Kingdra uses Hydro Pump, taking Shocker down to 19 health. Assuming Lance will heal, we switch into H2O, but Kingdra just goes for Brine, which is nullified by H2O's Water Absorb. Outspeeding thanks to the paralysis, we get the second knockout with Ice Beam, as Lance didn't use his extra full restore. Then Lance sends out a Snorlax. So we pivot into Shucky, and Snorlax uses Block. No issue, we're not going anywhere. Brick Break barely doesn't kill, and Snorlax uses Crunch for minimal damage. A second Brick Break gets us the knockout. Out comes a Gengar, and we switch into H2O, who tanks a Shadow Ball on entry to about a third health. Gengar outspeeds and brings us low with another Shadow Ball, but our Shadow Ball brings Gengar to a quarter. Not wanting to lose H2O, we pivot into Crow, who also gets knocked down to about 2/3 health, and then is outsped and brought to 69 health. Nice. Before knocking out Gengar with a Night Slash. Only 2 Pokemon left for Lance, and we're looking in pretty good shape. But then Lance sends out his ace, another Snorlax. Hoping the moveset hasn't changed, we switch back into Shucky, who again gets blocked in. This time though, we know to use Close Combat, which knocks out Lance's ace in a single hit. Down to his last Pokemon, Lance sends out a Melodic. With Shucky just having lowered his defenses, we switch into Tortle, and Melodic only uses Safeguard. Melodic then outspeeds and uses Rain Dance, and we set up a Leech Seed with Tortle, to eventually guarantee us the victory. Melodic then uses Hydro Pump, bringing Tortle down to 62 health. That was brutal, and we wasted our turn on Curse. With Tortle low, we switch into Blaine, who I'm hoping can tank another Hydro Pump, but Melodic misses. Blaine outspeeds and sets up a Calm Mind, hopefully to help tank the hits better, but another Hydro Pump brings us down to less than half. But we should survive another hit thanks to the Leech Seed. Blaine uses Psychic, which leaves Melodic on the tiniest amount of health, and a Hydro Pump connects, and it's a critical hit, killing Blaine. We lost her right at the finish line. In reality, I should have switched into H2O long ago here, but I was overconfident and wanted Blaine to get a little bit more use in the last part of the run. May you rest in peace. Because of the kill, the last bit of Leech Seed damage doesn't trigger, and Lance uses a full restore, bringing Melodic back to full health. There's a real chance my overconfidence has cost us the run. Crow uses Night Slash, which combined with the Leech Seed damage, brings Melodic to under half. Melodic then outspeeds, but uses Attract. However, Crow is out for vengeance, and breaks through to bring Melodic deep into red health, and we get the knockout with Leech Seed damage, earning us our final victory. This run went incredibly better than I thought it would. I was honestly expecting to be knocked out before getting my 4th gym badge, but the randomizer has made this one of my favourite Pokemon experiences to date. We still did lose a few friends along the way, mistakes were made, and in the end, they paid the price. But it was never going to be a perfect run. All we can do is learn from it. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you for taking the time to check out a new creator, and it would mean a lot to me if you'd consider leaving a like to help with the YouTube algorithms. It may not seem like it, but your like can make a huge difference. And if you enjoyed the randomizer experience, please let me know in a comment below, as I'd love to do another one. I am the TRC, and I hope you enjoyed our randomized journey through Pokemon SoulSilver.